Your company is in the market for a SASE or SD-WAN solution, and you've heard of the company Cato Networks, but you're wondering, how much does Cato cost? My name is Mike Smith. I'm the president of AeroCom. Let's put our heads together on this. But first, if you'd actually like an exact quote for Cato, reach out and contact me. Don't call Cato directly. Call me. I'll make sure you get the best pricing possible. Send me an email, give me a call, and I'll also give you some options, some competitive options to compare side by side with Cato. But I'll make sure you get a good demo on Cato, get a good quote on Cato, and their competitors as well. So join the other thousands of people who have gotten my help. Send me an email, give me a call. I can definitely help you make a lot better decision in a fraction of the time. And I don't charge you anything for my services, so there's no excuse not to at least reach out and see what I have to say. More information on that at the end of the video. Also, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my weekly videos that I put out. And go check out our website, aerocominc.com, where you can read reviews on providers, write reviews on providers, watch videos on providers, sort providers based on features like, sorting SD-WAN providers by SASE or by AI or by cloud enabled, all that good stuff. So go check it out. Okay, let's talk about Cato's pricing. Obviously, when we start talking about pricing, price isn't the only thing. There's a lot that goes into service providers. I know this video is about price, but go check out my video where I review Cato. So my review video on Cato. So check that out and then compare it to their pricing too. The first thing you need to know about Cato pricing is it's an OpEx pricing model. So it's an operating expenditure. So it's going to be a monthly cost, not a large upfront cost. The second thing you need to know about Cato pricing is they price according to total aggregated bandwidth at each site individually. So what that means is that the Cato service is only going to work on the amount of bandwidth that you purchase. So say you have a gigabit internet connection at your headquarters location, and you also have a backup business class cable connection that is maybe a gig download and maybe 200 meg upload. Well, Cato's going to ask you, how much of that bandwidth are you actually using at your busiest time? I know you have the capacity to go to a gig, but how much do you typically use at your busiest time? And that's going to be the amount of bandwidth that they sell you, and that's going to cap it's going to put a ceiling on the amount of throughput that you're going to get because you're using the Cato services. You're not going to be able to go all the way up to a gig unless you purchase a gig, and they charge per bandwidth. So you start to get higher bandwidth, it starts to get more expensive. So definitely need to know those two things up front. It's an OpEx pricing model, and it's priced according to total aggregated bandwidth between the two circuits combined. So how much does Cato cost? Well, Cato can do a lot of different things. So let's start at the very basics. Okay, just an SD-WAN service at maybe the lowest bandwidth, say 25 megs of total aggregated bandwidth at that site. So maybe this is a site that is just doing point of sale data back to headquarters, something like that, where it's not using a whole lot of data. There's not a lot of total aggregated throughput that you're going to need. You only need about 25 megs of bandwidth, even at the busiest time, and that's probably overkill. That's going to cost around $100 per month for that site. So for every site that you have, it's going to be another $100 per month for that just normal SD-WAN service at about 25 megs. Now, if you want to go all the way up to the ceiling of that, Cato can do up to about 2 gigs of throughput, and that will cost you probably around $2,000 per month per site for 2 gigs of throughput. But again, this pricing is general I'm giving to you. If you want the exact pricing, send me an email, give me a call. It depends on how many sites you have. And if you have 2,000 sites as opposed to 2 sites, obviously the pricing is going to be different. All right, so that's just for normal SD-WAN service. Now, say you want to add it or upgrade it to a SASE solution, meaning you want to upgrade to cloud-based security. Typically, that's going to add about 20% to your total cost. Again, it depends on the exact security features you want, but reach out to me for exact pricing. But think of it as around $20 per month addition to what you're paying. Another level is CASB. Does your company need CASB solutions? If you don't know what that is, go check out my video on CASB. But I would say that's probably going to be a 40% increase compared to the base SD-WAN costs that I gave you earlier. And of course, there's always additional costs, depending on the types of features that your company needs. For instance, high availability. Does your company need to have 2 appliances at every site to make sure that if one appliance has a problem, you never have any outages or any downtime. 100% uptime. High availability is going to obviously cost a little bit more. If you want additional features like their cool application management platform, that's a really cool feature that costs a little bit more money, but not a whole lot. Again, contact me for additional pricing. And again, accounting for scale, how many locations does your company have? That is going to factor in terms of discounts. So that's a general idea that gives you a general idea of how much Cato Networks costs for their SD-WAN service, their SASE service, their CASB service, things like that. But again, if your company wants an exact quote, reach out and contact me, send me an email, give me a call. I'll make sure you guys get a great demo from Cato. You talk to the right person over there. I'll oversee the quoting process to make sure you get the best pricing possible from Cato that all my other customers are paying. And I will also, if you're interested, I will also show you good additional vendors, competitive vendors to Cato, to compare and side by side with them, show you demos on them, give you quotes on them, oversee the quoting process. I'm a broker for all the major SD-WAN service providers in the industry. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I know the landscape inside and out, and I can tell you that there's a ton of vendors out there, but not that many great ones, and you definitely want to talk to somebody like me before you just start quoting companies randomly that you're finding on Google. So send me an email, give me a call. I help your company make a lot better decision in a fraction of the time. Join the thousands of other customers that have reached out for my help. I'd love to help you with the stuff. And the nice thing is, on top of everything, how much do I charge you for my service? Nothing. The service providers like Cato actually pay me my broker fee, so I don't charge my customers anything for my service. So no excuse not to at least reach out and get my opinion on this stuff. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my weekly videos that I put out. And go check out our website, aerocominc.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.